There we go. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the 56th City Council meeting. Today is Monday, December 9th. Before we begin, if everyone can please kindly rise for the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, may I have a roll call, please?
Certainly, for the third time.
Okay.
Ms. Di Giovanni,
Present.
Ms. Manalo,
Present.
Dr. Rod,
Here.
Mr. Buenaventura,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester.
Present. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of November 25th?
Motion to approve the minutes?
We have first and a second. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the next item is the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda. If anyone would like to pull any items, please advise.
Just item number 7, please.
Item number 7. Okay, are there any other items? All right, hearing none, can I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item number 7 that will be pulled?
Motion to approve consent agenda with the exception of item number 7.
We have first, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the consent agenda is passed. Item number 7, approve debt management policy and disclosure policies and procedures for the city of Daly City. Now, I'll turn it over to, I'd like to ask Councilmember Di Giovanni if she, what her question was, and then staff can provide further information, or Councilmember Di Giovanni, did you need staff to explain and go through the presentation first before you ask?
Mr. I, would you mind just going through the basics? It's just to inform us, like the public, about what this is going to. It's in a move that we're moving in a positive direction. So
Yes.
I wanted for us to be clarified.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. I.
Yes. Any municipality that needs to issue any kind of debt financing should have a debt management policy. That's something that we just didn't have. We have not issued debt since 2012. So it just makes sense, and it's very much it's consistent with what the sanitation district was also put forth to their board of directors. And then the disclosure policy just covers the important regulatory filings that we have to do once we incur additional debt.
Yeah. So the only thing I had was I wanted to make sure that publicly thank you, because this is a positive move that we're trying to make sure that everything's transparent and that it's a new day, and this is a part that other cities didn't have and we didn't have before. And I thank you for that.
Well, thank
you did
you.
an excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Di Giovanni. Are there any further questions for staff or finance? Hearing none. Vice Mayor? Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve item number 7.
Motion to approve item number 7.
Is there a
Second.
Okay. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. High.
Thank you very much, Mr. High. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we're moving down the agenda for this evening, I'd like to remind you, if you would like to speak on any matter before this council, please submit a card and submit it up to the front. As of right now, I have 2 cards, and you still have an opportunity to submit a card. So with that being said, we'll move on to the next item, which is item number 8. This is a public hearing on community development and housing needs, and I'll turn it over to,
Hi, I'm going to step in for Linnell tonight.
Oh, okay, thank you. Good to see you, Ms. Obel. Okay, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Each year, the city receives an allocation of Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG funds, as well as an allocation of home funds. CDBG may be used for a variety of purposes, including housing, public services, capital improvements, and economic development. Home funds must be used for development of housing for low-income people. We have not yet been notified by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on exactly what our home and CDBG funding levels will be for 2021. But just to illustrate, for the current fiscal year, we received $1,018,573 in CDBG funds and $355,373 in home funds. In order to receive these funds, the city is required to conduct a public hearing on community needs, prepare an action plan describing how the funds will be used, and then conduct another public hearing in April regarding the draft action plan recommendations. Tonight is the first step in preparing the action plan for fiscal year 2021. This will be the first of a 2-year CDBG funding cycle, and to that end, with the council's authorization, staff will release a request for proposals from organizations seeking funding to provide public services and housing. At this point, the council is requested to conduct a community needs hearing. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to hear from the community and stakeholders on the critical community development needs in Daly City. Tonight's hearing is not to hear specific requests for particular funding levels to various organizations. That will come later in April, when funding proposals have been submitted, evaluated by staff and the CDBG Advisory Committee, and a draft 2021 action plan is prepared and available for public review. Notice of this hearing was published in the Examiner and was made available on the city's website, the city clerk's office, the community service center, and the city's libraries, as well as mailings to organizations that have expressed an interest in the city's community development programs. And with that, I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Obel. Is there any questions for Ms. Obel?
I do. I just have a quick question. When does HUD present the proposed budget? When do they usually?
It can be any time between November of the preceding year and June. Typically, we're notified in April and March, but it's all tied up in the federal budget.
Okay, any other questions? All right, I'd like to take this opportunity at this time to open the public hearing. And with that being said, I have 2 cards. We'll first take a Mr. Matt Rosen, Habitat for Humanity. Is Mr. Rosen? Oh, okay, Mr. Rosen. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Sylvester, Vice Mayor Manalo, and City Council members. My name is Matt Rosen. I'm the Chief Program Officer at Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco. We've had the opportunity to partner with your city to build homes for low-income homeowners since 2001, and we've actually built 40 homes in partnership with volunteers, city residents, and your administration. And we're also pleased to be able to start construction on 3001 Geneva for 6 new homes for low-income homeowners in the very near future, in the spring. So we're really excited about that. From the sale of 3 homes that we do on a regular basis, when individuals sell their homes back to us, we remarket them for low-income homeowners. We've had a chance to take a look at the incredible need for affordable home ownership for housing, and I wanted to share that with you. We had 152 applications for homes being sold, for 3 homes being sold in East Palo Alto, South San Francisco, and Redwood City, and a good proportion of those were Daly City residents. And just in contrast, we did this similar sort of sale for 5 homes in 2016 and had less applications. So that sort of shows you the sheer need, the level of demand, the unmet need for affordable home ownership for low and moderate income individuals. I also wanted to call to your attention some of the work that we're doing around home repair, knowing that home repair is also a really critical need and an area that you all invest in right now. So most of you know us as a home builder, but we also do a lot of critical home repair work. Since 2011, we've done home repair and home preservation work for 179 households. We're focusing on critical repair, and we wanted to make sure that you knew that we supported your work and continue to invest in affordable home ownership and critical home repair work for Daly City residents. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosen. All right, the next card I have is from Clarice Veloso, and here to represent HIP Housing. Good evening.
Good
Thank you.
evening. My name is Clarice Veloso Lugo, and I'm here to represent HIP Housing this evening. On behalf of HIP Housing, I would like to thank the Honorable Mayor and the members of the City Council for your continued support of our organization. We have received funding from the City of Daly City since 1995, and we are grateful for all the years of your support of all of our housing programs. I think it goes without saying that rents in the City of Daly City are unaffordable to many of the city's residents. In this fiscal year, HIP Housing has seen about 215 Daly City residents has come through our doors to ask for our help to find housing. 100 current residents and 9 Daly City employees applied for our housing programs. We are happy to report that 19 Daly City residents were able to be matched in our home sharing services and home sharing programs, and we provide 7 Daly City families with a housing scholarship so that they can better their lives, continue their educations, and pursue good paying careers. We own affordable housing property throughout the county and specifically in Daly City. About 600 people in Daly City reside in the properties that we own and operate. So as a token of our appreciation, we do this every year. We'd like to present the council with our calendar, which I'm going to distribute in a little bit. It's the 18th calendar for HIP Housing that we've created with information on HIP Housing's affordable housing programs, and their drawings of artworks from kids all throughout the county. So we thank you very much for your support and hope that you enjoy these calendars throughout the year. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Veloso. Are there any other cards on this item? I don't have any. Item number 8. Seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing at this time. Do we have any comments from my colleagues here up on the dais before we move to adopt a resolution? Anyone?
Through the mayor. I just have one thing to say is that this city has always been a shining light for affordable housing, and I know that you guys partnered with us throughout the years, and I totally appreciate it. And then now we're at the crisis mode, as you said, and even the gentleman noted that some of our Daly City residents, even I got calls today, were at Project Sentinel looking in other cities because they could not afford Daly City. So we forget that when we're up here, and we need that to be called to attention. And please make sure we get those numbers, and hopefully we get those funds so we can keep supporting all of you that do such great work. And we got to keep moving forward, like you said, and we have a gap. And the gap needs to be met because we're losing the children in the schools, and that means we're losing our community. And we've already seen it here, and the diversity will be lost. So we don't want to do that. So I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, council member. Are there any further comments? All right, we'll entertain a motion to adopt a resolution. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt resolution?
First and
Second.
And a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Aye.
Ms. Manalo,
Aye.
Dr. Rod,
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura,
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester.
Aye.
Thank you, Betsy.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Obel. Next item on the agenda is public hearing on the disposition and development agreement for 6401 Mission Street, Daly City. And with that, I'll turn it over to our city attorney, Ms. Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the City Council, this item, set before the council on November 25th, 2019, for a development disposition agreement with Equity Residential. Staff and the developer would like additional time to finalize the terms of the DDA and also to allow for the statutorily required public review prior to the public hearing. At this time, I would like to request that the City Council continue this public hearing to a date certain of January 27, 2020 at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. Any comments from my colleagues here on council? So with that being said, a motion is needed to continue this item until January 27th. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to continue by roll call.
We have a first?
Second?
Second? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura?
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester?
Aye. Thank you, Madam City Attorney. Your motion has passed. Item number 10, public hearing regarding the I just did that one. Okay. All right, communications.
You're
I'm
right.
sorry.
There's two.
There's two.
All right. Had to put my glasses on because I thought I was seeing double. Thank you so much. Okay, public hearing regarding the disposition of property located at 6401 Mission Street that promotes economic opportunity in conformance with Government Code Section 52201. And I'll turn it over to our city attorney, Ms. Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. This item came before the City Council to set time and place to this day, December 9th, 2019. As a requirement of the Government Code for any sale of public property, the requirement is that we set a fair use hearing before the board, and we would like to continue that and to have further time to prepare that report. I would request that the City Council continue this public hearing to a date certain of January 27, 2020 at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. Is there any comments from any of the council members? Hearing none, at this time, I would like to entertain a motion for item number 10.
Motion to continue by roll call for item number 10.
Is there a second?
Second?
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura?
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester?
Aye. Thank you very much, Madam City Attorney. That motion is passed. Next item on the agenda is under communications, to which it's item number 11, and I believe we've taken care of this at the joint session meeting earlier.
That is correct, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. And next item, presentation of the fiscal year 2019 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Mr. High. Wow, nice. Good evening, Mr. High.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, City Council members, and Madam City Manager. I'd like to quickly summarize. Okay, oh, too fast. So quickly summarize the revenues for 2019 versus 2018. You can see overall that we had an increase of 11.1 million from 97.9 to 109.0 million. And there was revenue growth across all areas: program revenues, property tax, sales tax, and other taxes and interest income. The property taxes were up by 3.5 million. Sales tax were up by 2.5 million. Interest income and other taxes were up by 2.1 million, and then program revenues were up by 2 million. The property taxes were extremely strong, much stronger than we've seen in previous years, resulting from average higher assessed values on properties as well as new properties coming online. The sales tax, we're strong in all categories. There's transportation, which is automobiles, both new and used, as well as auto parts, and service station taxes on the items they sell at the mini markets. And then retail, clothing, furniture, both Serramonte and Westlake have been very, very strong. And then interest income was higher because of higher balances and higher interest rates. So overall, we had a very strong year on the revenues. Then looking at the expense side, the expenditures were essentially flat, only up 900,000, so a less than 1% increase. However, we will have higher labor costs going forward because of MOUs that have been negotiated this fall that provide for wage increases across the board for all the unionized workforce. We've also added some fire positions, both on the line as well as a battalion chief, so that will have impact on the 2020 expenses. From a historical perspective, both 2018 and 2017, we did have deficits in the funding. However, this year, because the revenues were 108 versus the 100.5, we will have a surplus for this current year. We do have the increasing UAL contributions, the unfunded liability. Now, the amount we've just paid this past summer was $12 million for both the miscellaneous and the safety plan. So that actually represents about 1.3 quarters months of expenses when we have to make that annual payment. As of June 30th, 2019, our overall long-term unfunded pension and post-retirement liability was $176.8 million. So there's still a large number out there that has to be funded over future years. And we also have deferred capital maintenance as well as deferred fleet acquisition costs that we had cut back on those areas in the recessionary period. We do have a new 10-year model that we will be using for both 2021 and 2022 as we work with all the department heads to present the new 2-year budget. And it's just been my honor and pleasure to present the financial summary on behalf of the Finance and Administrative Services Department of Daly City.
Thank you, Mr. High. I'm going to now open it up to my colleagues for any comments. Anyone?
I'll go first.
Anyone? Okay.
Well, okay.
Because
My goodness,
Yeah.
this is welcome news. This is, I don't think I've heard this kind of numbers in my time at the council. And it's just so refreshing to know that we are in a much better position that we've ever been, at least since I've been on the council. And I'm tremendously happy. I think it's a lot of work has gone into righting this ship, as I said before, and I think there should be given some credit to the staff and to the council, and we really have a different direction and a new way of thinking, and the result of which I think has been tremendously successful, and I want to applaud everyone for their efforts, and I'm just so optimistic and relieved that we are in a position now like we've never been before. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Buenaventura. Anyone else? Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think they already know because every time I see them in the hallway or whatever, totally relieved that and feel so much relief that we know that the finance department is in such good hands, hands of trust, hands of caring about our city, hands of caring about everything, due diligence, and everything you guys have done, including your colleagues, gentlemen sitting here, and all the members, and our city manager, applaud you because you had a lot to do with this as well, to make sure that we were heading in the right direction with the right people. And that's what it takes. And even though I haven't been on the council that long, sitting out there, totally relieved, knew the numbers were there, and thank you very much. And so that our community can feel building trust with our city is very important. And I
Thank you.
think that you've done this with big respect
Thank
to
you.
all of you
Yes, no, I'm,
and our department heads.
with the support of city manager and all the other
Yes.
executive team members and the finance department
Yes.
people, yeah, it's been wonderful.
Department heads are wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chu, as well. Tatum.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Vice Mayor, Dr. Rod.
Okay. I just want to say thank you to staff,
Wow.
council. Just looking at this whole plan, I'm blessed to be in this position because, you know, most like what Councilmember Buenaventura said, you know, this is like news that he's never had, and to fall in this context is very appreciative. And I also appreciate that there is, whenever there's highs, there's also lows. So I'm also appreciate the long-range financial planning, just in case there are
Yeah.
issues of some sort of economic downturn, because that's the thing that you know, for me, that makes me feel kind of nervous about things like this.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Mr. Chai.
Thank you, Councilmember Dr. Rod. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is wonderful news. I think echoing Councilmember Ventura around what being on the council on 2016, the projections always said that we were in kind of the opposite direction. And to see, you know, we had lots of questions around more transparency and really digging into, you know, the financials. And I think with the financial model you mentioned and what you've presented prior, you know, we're now in a place where we see where all our monies are, and also the fact that, you know what, there was a mismatch in what we saw as a community out there when there were houses being sold, when there was business booming, but it did not reflect in what we saw in the budget. And so I think now that there is kind of a better way of tracking the dollars that we have in the city. I am very hopeful and look forward to, as mentioned earlier as well, one of the questions I had at the very beginning was, what is the projection as we move forward? And that was not, I wouldn't get that answer prior. But now with the new staff and administration and all of the team here, I think that we are very, very optimistic and in a good place to keep, of course, a watchful eye on the dollars that is our communities and the publics, but then also to shed light and share with everyone that, no, we are not in the position that we were prior, and that was reiterated over and over again. And that we are in a good place, but we want to continue to see the economic development and find ways to increase our revenue. But with the council here and with the staff's partnership and teamwork, there are good days ahead. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. All right. Ms. Malpe, how much do you weigh? No, don't answer that. Don't answer that. And Mr. High,
Yes.
how much do you weigh? No, don't answer that. What I'm getting at is the both of you combined, you're definitely worth your weight in gold.
Thank you.
All too long, we've heard about the negatives on a deficit. True, we have a surplus right now, but you have succinctly provided the information. You may have the surplus, but also know you got deferred maintenance. You've got labor costs, which the question I was going to ask, how much is it going to be in labor costs? But I know it's minuscule out of that 11 million. That's my feeling. And the whole fact is we have to place our funds in the right places and also think about the unfunded liability for that the city has at this particular time. Ms. Malpe, I'd like to thank you for coming on board against the negatives from that you've heard regarding the audit that you had performed, regarding the hiring of a new finance person.
Yes.
It has definitely paid off. Again, I'll reiterate, folks have to see beyond the trees and give things a chance. And I'm glad we gave that chance. So I want to thank you both, and please continue to provide us the information as you see it in black and white and the full transparency, because that's what helps us help to understand. And the same goes for all staff here in Daly City. Again, I've seen folks blossom, and a happy employee is a good working one. And having that information, Mr. High, has definitely made us happy as well, and we will continue to make all of you happy to the best of our ability. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So,
Thank you.
Motion.
thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm getting there. All right, so with that being said, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the presentation given by Mr. Hyde, the fiscal year 2019 comprehensive annual and financial report. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
First,
Second.
and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Aye.
Ms. Manalo,
Aye.
Dr. Rod,
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura,
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester.
Aye. Thank you again. All right, the next item on the agenda is public appearances, oral communications. Madam City Clerk, here's the other cards for the other ones. I have no cards at this time. We're going to move on. Next is appointments. Any appointments to board or commission or committee appointments? Hearing none, we'll move next to reports. Item number 13, council committee reports. Does anyone have a report? All right, council committee meetings between the period of November 25th through December 8th. Any committee meetings?
Yes, Mr.
Oh, about to say
Mr.
it's
Mayor.
Okay.
We had a meeting on November 25th with the Jefferson Union High School. And actually, it was with the Head Start program on November 25th. And they were just echoing the importance of their program. But with that, there was a concern around them being at the Jefferson Union High School development at Ceremony Del Rey. And so they wanted to voice their concerns to the committee, and the committee on there was Ms. Pamela DiGiovanni and I with staff. And so at that meeting, they want to just advocate for them to remain in the area where the Jefferson Union High School District owns the land, but that's the meeting that they had with us on November 25th. And then on December 3rd, there was a meeting with the Jefferson Union High School and also with us and city staff, also with Ms. DiGiovanni and staff. and with planning staff. And so really, that meeting was around a development at Serramonte Del Rey. They have a proposal to do the teacher housing on the side of that, but I think I mentioned this prior, it's actually a larger master plan that they're hoping to do. Heavily on, and last time we met with them, they didn't have they kind of had a concept, but there was no drawings or whatnot, no a map, and so now they do have that with, I would say, it's a mixed-use project, but really heavily on housing. They anticipate or are looking at a model where there is rental housing as well as ownership on there, and a large park in the center of the site, and also providing an area for small retail. I mean, I did bring up a question at that moment is to ask whether or not it was possible to also include childcare within their plan, since it's a huge site, and just in general to see if they were open to do so. What happened was they responded that they will look into the feasibility of looking at childcare on site, whether it is privately owned, a federal program, or a local program. I think that if you're going to have that amount of housing there, we've seen it as well that there is definitely a need for childcare in our community. And so that was the premise of that. I think the next steps is that there's some work that needs to be done on their end to give us some information that the staff also needs. We can't move forward in this, and essentially they would like to have a study session with the whole council. But we need more information regarding, this was kind of the first step in seeing what they have anticipated, but they are more than willing to work with us. They've indicated that if there's anything that, any questions, any suggestions, that they're very open to do so. And that is the update with the Serramonte Del Rey development plan.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember DiGiovanni, it's my understanding that you are also on those committees with the Vice Mayor. Did you want to add any additional information pertaining to those meetings?
She did an excellent job. The only thing that I would add is that when she was saying they need to come back, is remember when they discussed the affordable ability ordinance that you, on the council that you guys passed. So that's the only thing that they're going to bring back as well, to work it out with staff. So we can't move forward until that's worked out, the ordinance and what they want, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
there's further conversations, whether it's, staff will take a look at it, and then also just really the decision upon the whole council around how our affordable housing ordinance,
Correct.
we have one, and how this development interfaces with that, as really, that portion of it.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right,
Mayor.
continuing, Councilmember DiGiovanni, do you have any other further reports?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Dr. Rod Dasmagwal, any
Other than, these are just council committee reports, though, right?
committee reports? Yes.
Don't.
Okay, how about you,
No.
Mr. Councilmember Buenaventura?
No, sir.
All right, I have none at this time. All right, thank you so much. Next item is City Council reports. And let's start with, I know I'm going to get an easy answer. Councilmember Buenaventura?
No.
Told you it was easy. Dr. Rod?
I just want to appreciate the staff for putting together the Daly City Commissioners and Board Trustee Appreciation Dinner last week. So Leilani, Stephen, Angie, everybody, Shauna, thank you so much. Living with other commissioners in my house, they were appreciative of it as well. And it's good to see the folks that I don't have the privilege to come in and check out every meeting, but it allows me to put faces to names and like get to know folks on a more personal basis. So thank you for I guess revisiting that tradition and hopefully continuing the tradition.
Thank you, Dr. Rod. Councilmember DiGiovanni, any reports?
Yeah, I'd like to echo that as well for the staff. It was a great appreciation dinner. We had a great turnout, thanks to Leilani and Stephen and city manager and everybody that worked on it. And it seemed like a great time for everybody. Not everybody could come, but maybe next year as well. But I think it's always good to stop and take time, because if we don't do that, I think that we're not going to represent the city that we really want to continue to do so. And reflective of how we treat our community is how we treat our commissioners and our department heads and others. Also, I didn't want to gloss it over the last time, and now I have laryngitis, but the city manager and I did attend the police badge pinning that was here in the city hall. And sorry for my throat, but it was pretty moving, the stories behind. There's some highly, I don't know where you guys found them, but we are very, very, very lucky that these people chose Daly City and that Daly City chose them. So I want to thank the chief, Christensen, Gamez, and everyone for embracing them, and look forward to many more. And if anybody out there knows that we are recruiting in Daly City, and we need, I hope I can say this, if we can get 12 more, but I know it takes a long time for PD. Also, I want to thank Recreation and the teenagers that volunteered for the Frosty Fest on a rainy day. The parking lot was flooded, and Brian from Recreation and another staff went out there and got the water to drain. He said it was up to people's knees. So the family turned out, David, Brian, your husband, Tatum, and everybody kept going with the whole thing. I know you know the story, but it turned out really well. People were very festive, so I want to thank them as well. And then Councilmember Manalo and her lovely son, Ethan, and I had a carriage ride at ceremony. I'm sure she can elaborate. But it was lovely that we actually had a carriage ride with horses for her son and us at Ceremony Mall, along with snow, and it was very festive for the children and a family fun event. Thank Marie Lizette for always doing such a great job, and Councilmember Manalo bringing her son, which was an added delight to see his face light up, trying to touch the snow. So that's it for now. Thank you, Mayor. Sorry.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do want to say that I was able to be here with both the mayor and also Councilmember DiGiovanni for the staff Christmas tree lighting.
Yeah, that was great too.
And the bake-off. And, you know, it was really wonderful to see everyone in City Hall. As far as the employees, I know not everyone could make it, but a lot of number of employees were here. And I mean, it's been wonderful to see an event where everyone got together, share their amazing recipes, and you can just feel the jovial spirit of everyone feeling the festivities and also just being together in one space. So I want to say thank you for the staff that put it on and for everyone that participated and came. It was really special to see the Daly City staff and employees together. I mean, it comes off the other Halloween event, and then seeing this again, there's really wonderful energies, and that is within our Daly City employees. So thank you. I appreciated all the goodies that we had to judge. Um, it was pretty amazing to see, all the employees, they could do something else. They're like undercover chefs on the side, but it was a wonderful event to participate in. I was just glad that I was on this side of town during that time, so thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Dr. Rod, did I call you?
Yeah.
Oh, you went
Yeah,
already?
I'm
Oh, I know, okay. I'm not going to take any more time, but I'm just going to reiterate the feeling of the council. Ms. Malpe, thank you so much. I'm going to continue. It's going to happen all year because you have done so much. I've never seen staff so open and Rose, and to see you smile all the time. You know how attorneys can be, and but she's always smiling when she sees me, and it's a good feeling. And matter of fact, it was posted up on Facebook, and somebody said, "I wish our city did something like that." So as Dr. Rod says, I see you. So, and so do other people. So to the entire staff of Daly City, thank you so much. All right. Next item, staff reports.
Really quickly, we do have a community tree lighting this Wednesday at 5 o'clock. If you straggle in a little bit late, we'll probably wait for you, so between 5:15 and 5:30. And I just want to say that this year has been a big, big year, and I don't want to hear any more about me because I'm only as good as you as leaders and the staff at all levels, and I really mean that. And we all need to share some of this cautious optimism that we have. And congratulations to Mayor Sylvester and Vice Mayor Manalo. I know you guys are going to work us hard next year, and we are up for the challenge and looking forward to the productivity. And there is no second meeting in December. So we reconvene as a council in January. So thank you for the opportunity, and thanks to everybody in the city for all that you do.
I'm going to go through withdrawals, not seeing you folks. Thank you, Ms. Malpe. All right, any other staff reports? Hearing none. The next item on the agenda is adjournment. And I'm going to first start off with Mr. Buenaventura.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to adjourn in memory of Nina Lucille Eberhardt Wallace, who is the mother of Jen Pagsolinan. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Buenaventura. Next is Ms. Giovanni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to adjourn in memory of Hans Hansen. He was a school board member for 28 years. He was born in Copenhagen, Denmark, and immigrated here. And his wife and him still live in Daly City locally. And he was also served as a Marine in our military. So attended his services. All the teachers were there. He was very supportive all the 28 years, the teacher said, supporting the teachers while being on the school board. And for that, and his volunteerism in the community. Thank you very much in memory of Hans Hansen.
Thank you, Councilmember Giovanni. Vice Mayor Manalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also to adjourn in memory for Digna Gnosis Braulio, which is Wilson Braulio's mother.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. And I have a Jung A. Grumley, AKA June Grumley. John Grumley is a wastewater operator here in Daly City, but it was his mother. So I'd like to adjourn in her memory on behalf of her son, John Grumley. And with that being said, I have no others at this time. Can we please pause for a moment of silence, please? Thank you very much. This meeting is now adjourned. Happy holidays, everyone, and be very safe.